The idea for these posters came teaching body workers and seeing the same old muscle charts in these session rooms. So usually it's these guys standing there, or if you're lucky you have a Chinese acupuncture line graphs, but basically it's always a sense of a fragmented body there. And when you look for fascial illustrations, it's usually only local aspects there, but you never see the whole connective tissue network as one unifying, interconnected, elastic bodysuit. But it took us more than 3 years finally to get something that we can now look at. So we collected hundreds of photographs, illustrations from old textbooks, from new textbooks, etc. And we fed them all into digital three-dimensional computer programming and played around for several years now until we finally had something where we felt like this is also anatomically correct, but it also conveys a sense of this unifying harmony.
This has been a very courageous project, all the way from the start in 2009 until completion. The challenge was to develop a visual model of the human body as one interconnected fascial network. One of my jobs as a publisher was to ensure that the illustrations in this series are anatomically correct and that they also contain a sense of unity and fluidity.
My input consisted in checking and correcting some apparent inconsistencies with the proposed illustrations with the real anatomy as we see it in the dissection room. Robert Schleip demonstrates us the fascial network of our body in precise and very aesthetical illustrations.
So these pictures have been inspired by the new fascia terminology that has been used at the Fascia Research Congresses, starting with the first International Fascia Research Congress in Boston in 2007, held at the grounds of Harvard Medical School. There we wrote in the invitation that our understanding, our picture of fascia is that of a whole body-wide connective tissue suit in which the tendons, the ligaments, the retinacula, they all are part of a body-wide tensional network. And that viewpoint in which ligaments, joint capsules, etc., but also the intramuscular connective tissue is basically inspired by the tensegrity network model. So in the tensegrity network model, you have basically two elements: compression stable elements, which are the wood pieces here, maybe the bones in the human body, and they are isolated. They are never transmitting compression directly to each other. But then you have the tensile members here, and they are all interconnected with each other. So our question was, what are the tensile elements? And there you come to the myofascial tissues. So they are all interconnected with each other. They include the ligaments, they include the tendons, they include the muscular envelopes on the inside. And that is the sense of this tensional, spanning, interconnected network that we wanted to convey with these pictures. So you can hang them in your practice, you can put them in large size in your yoga studio or in the entrance hall of your practice. But I believe this is just the beginning. We need to go in a three-dimensional representation in which you can use in the future any computer to then look at different depths and different angles and study the architecture and click on a fact sheet, read the literature behind it and learn from that. So that's probably something to look forward at the next Fascia Congress. For now we have these posters, use them in your practice and give us feedback on how we can improve on this ongoing project. We'll learn how to train your fascial body such that it becomes better tonified, more injury resistant, more flexible and more fun to live in.
This sideways motion will load your fascia even more intensely. Invent your own creative jumps, simply be bouncy. You can as well play with a full body turn and bounce back to the wall.
be prepared that when experimenting with the fascial movement shown here, that this will most likely trigger a great sense of fun